So kind of with the whole Io Sky and Mayu Iwatani kind of reunion that happened at the Marigold event this past week, I kind of want to kind of entertain a possibility of Hiroshi Tanahashi getting retired by Shinsuke Nakamura for this upcoming Wrestle Kingdom 20. The links are very possible because just recently, I guess, especially with the Triple H takeover since 2022, you have now kind of an openness to the greater world of wrestling by Triple H, you know, and Shinsuke's openly been able to perform for Noah, you know, to fight Muta and stuff. So I do think that there is that thorough line there. Tanahashi and Shinsuke are always going to be linked, you know, for New Japan. For me personally, as someone who was introduced to that program because of them and their contributions to New Japan in the main event scene. For me, it was at Wrestle Kingdom 9 when I seen Shinsuke versus Kota Ibushi, and I saw Okada and Tanahashi wrestle for the first time, and both those matches for me were transformative in how I kind of saw wrestling in terms of the bell to bell and what that could be. Up in that time, I was watching a lot of like PWG and ROH and a lot of stuff like that seemed to emulate something that I wasn't really familiar with, but then I think seeing New Japan kind of gave me an understanding of where those motifs were from that I was seeing in the indies. Just the way that, you know, Tanahashi and Okada worked that match, that was like my first ever real exposure to a big Tokyo Dome like main event match, you know, and how that match kind of builds and the crescendo that happens, you know. And I was enthralled. For Kota Ibushi versus Shinsuke Nakamura that happened earlier that night, it was just a hard hitting like MMA level affair, but it felt like a kung fu movie, you know what I mean, in a way. And I was just enthralled by Shinsuke's entrance, by Kota's like mysticism and aloofness despite his crazy technical like ability and strength, you know, and Shinsuke's Michael Jackson like aura. It was very transformative for me and my reference point for what I thought was cool in wrestling, you know. So for me, it's really huge, I think, to maybe have Shinsuke Nakamura be able to wrestle one more time with one of his Musketeer members and who helped, you know, popularize New Japan again in the 2010s. Him and Tanahashi took that mantle in the mid 2000s from those guys and really, you know, brought New Japan to the prominence that gave it, you know, that AEW collab, that gave it the prominence of in the West, that gave you the Gaijins and the Bullet Club, you know, that gave you Chaos, you know.